The Demon's Dance. In the quiet town of Willowbrook, nestled deep in the heart of the Appalachian Mountains, lived a young girl named Emma. She was known for her vibrant spirit and love for dancing. Emma's life revolved around ballet, and she aspired to become a renowned dancer one day. However, her dreams would soon take an unexpected and sinister turn when she became the unwitting host for a demon named Baal. One fateful evening, Emma was practicing her ballet routine in the dimly lit attic of her family's old farmhouse. The wooden floors creaked beneath her graceful steps, and the room was filled with the haunting melody of her dance. Unbeknownst to her, a group of dark cultists had descended upon Willowbrook, determined to summon the demon Baal for their nefarious purposes. As the cultists chanted their incantations deep within the forest surrounding Willowbrook, their dark magic seeped through the woods, seeking a suitable vessel for Baal. Emma's passion and talent drew the demon's attention, and it didn't take long for Baal's malevolent presence to infiltrate her body. As the days passed, Emma's life took a terrifying turn. Her once joyful spirit became clouded by darkness, and her graceful ballet movements turned into eerie, otherworldly dances. Her eyes, once sparkling with life, now glowed with a sinister red hue. The townsfolk began to notice the strange occurrences around Emma, from objects moving on their own to eerie whispers in the night. Emma's family, desperate to save their daughter, sought the help of an old reclusive priest named Father Elias, rumored to have experience with the supernatural. Father Elias had spent decades studying the occult and was known for his unwavering faith. With the town's desperate plea for help, Father Elias agreed to perform an exorcism on Emma. He arrived at the farmhouse with his ancient texts and a heavy heart, knowing the grave danger that lurked within the young girl. The exorcism was an arduous battle between the forces of good and evil. Baal's demonic presence fought fiercely to maintain its hold on Emma, unleashing terrifying visions and unleashing a storm of supernatural chaos within the farmhouse. But Father Elias was unyielding. With his faith as his shield and the power of his exorcism ritual, he waged a relentless spiritual battle against the demon. The struggle between light and darkness raged on, and the fate of Emma hung in the balance. As the hours passed, Father Elias's unwavering resolve prevailed. With a final powerful incantation, he banished Baal from Emma's body, sending the demon shrieking back into the abyss. Emma collapsed, exhausted but free. The townsfolk rejoiced, and Emma's family embraced their daughter, who was finally liberated from the demon's grasp. Willowbrook returned to its peaceful existence, and Emma resumed her passion for ballet, dancing with newfound grace and an even deeper appreciation for the beauty of life. The tale of Emma, the girl who danced with a demon, served as a reminder to the townspeople of Willowbrook that even in the darkest of times, faith, love, and determination could conquer the most malevolent of forces.
The small town of Serenity was nestled in the foothills of the Appalachian Mountains. It was a quiet, peaceful place where everyone knew their neighbors and crime was almost unheard of. But one day, that all changed. It started with a young girl named Sarah. She was a bright, cheerful child, always smiling and laughing. But one day she started to change. She became withdrawn and sullen, and her grades in school began to suffer. Her parents, worried about her, took her to see a doctor, but he couldn't find anything physically wrong with her. One night, Sarah's parents woke up to the sound of screams coming from her room. They rushed in to find her thrashing and writhing in bed. Her eyes were rolled back in her head, and she was speaking in a strange, guttural voice. "Help me!" she cried. "Baal is inside me! He's going to kill me!" Sarah's parents were terrified. They didn't know what to do. They called the police, but they were just as baffled as they were.
They had never seen anything like it before. In desperation, Sarah's parents contacted a local priest, Father Michael. Father Michael was a kind, gentle man, but he was also a skilled exorcist. He had seen many cases of demonic possession, and he knew what he was dealing with. Father Michael arrived at Sarah's house and immediately began the exorcism ritual. He recited prayers and performed hand gestures, trying to drive the demon out of Sarah. But Baal was a powerful demon, and he was not easily dislodged. For hours, Father Michael struggled with Baal. Sarah thrashed and screamed, her body convulsing with the demon's power. But Father Michael refused to give up. He knew that if he did, Baal would consume Sarah's soul completely. Finally, after what seemed like an eternity, Father Michael was able to drive Baal out of Sarah. Sarah collapsed, exhausted but unharmed. The demon was gone, and Sarah was finally free. Sarah's parents were overjoyed. They thanked Father Michael profusely for saving their daughter's life. But Father Michael knew that the danger was not over. Baal was a powerful demon, and he would be back. Father Michael stayed with Sarah and her family for the next few days, helping them to recover from the ordeal. He also taught them how to protect themselves from Baal and from other demons like him. Sarah was never the same after that night. But she was alive, and that was all that mattered. She knew that Baal was still out there, but she was not afraid. She had faith in God, and she knew that he would protect her. Epilogue. Years later, Sarah grew up to be a strong, independent woman. She became a teacher, and she used her experiences to help others who had been possessed by demons. She knew that the fight against evil was never over, but she was determined to do her part to make the world a better place. One day, Sarah was teaching her class when she felt a strange presence in the room. She turned around and saw a dark figure standing in the doorway. It was Baal, the demon that had possessed her all those years ago. Sarah's heart began to race, but she refused to show fear. She stood up and faced Baal head-on. "What do you want?" she asked. "I want you," Baal replied. "You belong to me." "No," Sarah said. "I belong to God." Baal lunged at Sarah, but she was ready for him. She raised her hand and spoke a word of power. A blast of light erupted from her hand, knocking Baal back. Baal snarled in anger. He charged at Sarah again, but she was too quick for him. She dodged his attacks and countered with her own. The two of them fought for a long time, but in the end, Sarah was victorious. She struck Baal with a powerful blow, and he disappeared in a puff of smoke. Sarah's students were stunned. They had never seen anything like it before. "What was that?" one of the students asked. "That was evil," Sarah replied. "But it's gone now, thanks to God." Sarah's students looked at her with awe. They knew that they had just witnessed something truly special. Sarah was a hero, and they were lucky to have her as their teacher.